Hi everyone, my name is Leo and with this video we will share a demo review of the Valeton GP-5. First of all, we will hear this unit in action with the demo song, then we will describe the unit in details, then we will hear more sounds, also comparing the GP5 versus real tube amps and performing our beloved NULL test. And finally, I will give you my 2 cents. So please subscribe and ring the bell to help me to make more content like this. And now let's start with the brand new demo song. Now describe the Valeton GP-5. First of all, it is an amp modeler featuring 32 amps with 3 dedicated to the bass guitar and 2 to the acoustic guitar. Furthermore, it has 20 cabinets with the possibility to load our own IRs in 20 user slots. One of the standout features of the GP-5 is of course the possibility to load NULL profiles. In fact, it utilizes what Valeton calls the snap tone technology, which enables NULL file conversion while importing the NULL profile in this unit. And in the more sound section of this video we will check out the quality of the NULL profiles converted with our NULL test. To be noticed that the unit comes preloaded with 50 selected NULL profiles, and we can store up to 80 profiles in total, so I think we have plenty of space. In terms of effects, the GP-5 manages around 60 effects that are 1 noise gate, 10 effects included in the pre-block that can be compressors, boosters, octavers and pitch shifter, 10 distortions, 5 EQs, 11 modulations, 10 delays and 10 reverbs. The effects can be arranged in a signal chain with 10 blocks that are, as aforementioned, a noise gate, a pre-effect block, a distortion block, a block where we can load our NULL profiles, then we have the amp and the cab blocks, and then the modulation, delays and reverbs blocks. We almost have total freedom arranging the effect blocks order, but as far as I have understood, we cannot move effects in between the amp cab and NULL profile loader. Of course, We cannot replicate many times the same instance of each effect block, but we can use the pre-block to duplicate some effects, the one included in the pre-block, obviously. To be noticed that the NULL loader block and the amp and cab blocks cannot be together at the same time in the signal chain. I mean, if we activate the NULL block, then the amp and cab blocks are gonna be automatically disengaged and vice versa. In terms of preset storage, the GP5 has 100 patches slots with 50 factory patches already included. Furthermore, it has a built-in chromatic tuner that can be accessed long pressing the foot switch. Despite having just a single foot switch, Valeton has made it customizable with 4 different usage modes: patch, song list, single effect on or off, and tuner or bypass. The GP5 features a colored LCD screen, and here I would point out that with a physical device you can only have access to a few set of parameters, typically global ones. And in order to customize our signal chain, we can use the Android or iPhone app, which is basically a must-have, and it is also pretty nice. If we want to customize the unit, we need the app, as what we can do just with the knobs are some tweaking of the global parameters, basically. In terms of connectivity, the unit offers stereo processing with the TRS unbalanced stereo output jack that is also compatible with headphones. The input is a standard TS jack with a 1 megaohm impedance. The GP5 can serve as an audio interface via USB-C with 2 inputs and 2 outputs. The audio interface is at up to 16 bits and 44 kHz. A feature that adds significant convenience is the built-in Bluetooth 5.0 dual-mode wireless functionality, which allows for both Bluetooth audio playback and wireless editing through Valeton's mobile app. The app also includes 100 drum patterns for practicing purpose. The GP5 is for sure the Valeton most compact multi-effect processor, maybe the most compact one more in general. The dimensions are shown in the screen and the weight is 237 grams. In terms of power needs, this unit can run on a standard DC 9V center negative power supply or via USB with 5 volts, drawing about 200 mAh. And finally, the price should be around $80, which is of course a very low price. I'm not sure about the price, of course, for the uncertainty linked to the tariff which is going on. Let's now hear some more sounds performing also our beloved NULL test. Welcome to the more sound section of this video. We will now share 3 tests. With the first one, we will check out some clean tones using the GP5 NULL profiles of my Tone King Imperial. Then, with the second test, we will explore some overdriven and distortion tones, comparing my GP5 NULL profiles of my Mesa Boogie Mark V versus the real deal. And finally, with the third test, we will perform our beloved NULL test. Let's start with the first test exploring clean tones. And now let's check out some overdriven tones. I have to say that this unit sounds pretty close to the real deal. I can just hear a difference in the high frequencies where the real deal is a bit more airy, I would say. And maybe this is derived from the 16 bits 44.1 kHz converters of the GP5. And now let's perform our NULL test, checking out the GP5 NAM profiles of a Soldano SLO100 versus the real deal. And just for reference, I would also add the result of the NAM plugin and the results of the Ampero 2 profiles. And please notice that all these profiles are included in my NAM Essential Profile pack that you can check out following the link in the description below. By the way, before the test result, let me give you a brief recap of the NULL test if you are new to the channel. The NULL test is based on the principle that if you play two tones at the same time, phase inverted, the lower is the resulting integrated LUFS, the more the two tones are similar. So now let's play the NAM plugin versus the real Soldano. So the resulting LUFS is minus 40.8. And now the Ampero 2 versus the real Soldano. And now the real Soldano versus its counterpart profile loaded in the GP5, of course phase inverted. So with the GP5 we have minus 30.6 LUFS, where with the NAM plugin we have minus 40.8, and with the NAM player we have minus 40.3. Of course, the fact that the NAM profile is converted to the Valeton proprietary format and that the unit has 16 bits at 44.1 kHz converters may be the reason why we have some quality loss, but with still pretty good tones overall considering the price of this unit, I think. Okay, please let me know your opinions in the comment section below. I'm pretty curious to discuss and share the tonal differences you may have heard. And now let's jump to the conclusion section of this video with my 2 cents. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases. Of course, you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, I received this unit for free from Valeton, and this video is actually sponsored, but Valeton is not asking me to say anything, and as usually, I'm free to tell you whatever I want. Let's have a look at the pros and cons of the unit. The pros. First and foremost, let me mention what I would call the size to functionality ratio, which is of course pretty high. I mean, in this tiny pedal we can load NAM profiles, IRs, effects, etc. Maybe this is the smallest unit able to load NAM profile, even if converted to Valeton proprietary format. Second, the Bluetooth is pretty convenient, allowing us to use both the app to control the unit and to stream music. Third, of course, the price is very good considering what we are getting here. In terms of cons, I would mention the 44.1 kHz and 16 bits audio interface, the missing MIDI controllability, even if it might be added with future firmware upgrades via USB, and I would mention the missing option to customize the unit just using the physical knobs. Don't get me wrong, the Android app and the iPhone app is very well done, but I mean sometimes I would need just the possibility to make some adjustment with just the physical unit. In terms of pure tone, the profiles sound pretty close to the real deal. The only thing I notice is that there is a bit of lack of air in the high frequencies that maybe you can check out in the more sound section of this video, especially when comparing the Real Tone King to the GP5 profiles. This is not noticeable when we play in the full mix, but just when comparing the GP5 with the real deal in solo mode. Maybe this is the sum of the NULL conversions into Valeton proprietary format and the converters of the GP5 that are at 16 bits and 44.1 kHz. These factors may lead to a bit of less in the high frequency compared to the real deal, but as I said previously, the tone we are getting from this unit is really convincing, I think. Of course, we always have to take into consideration the price. In fact, all in all, this tiny unit packs really a pretty impressive set of features considering the dimension and the price. But please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. I'm also pretty curious to know to which other unit you would compare the GP5. Please let me know in the comment section below. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would really help me to create more videos like this. If you're interested in my IRs or Tonics profile, you can check out also the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine and to my new EP, Art, Love, Freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.